What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Jersey Digs. Hope you enjoy the watch. And today we have a confession to make, everyone. All the digs you've seen over the last 3 months, we've planted them all. No, I'm kidding. For research, that is. So today we're doing a fun one. We officially have purchased all 5 coils that Nokta offers for the Legend, and we're going to see how deep we can get them to detect. I think this is some useful knowledge. For anyone looking at this, like, why do these guys have 5 coils for their detector? There's a variety of reasons why you would want a different size coil. You know, you may want to go something big, like this big LG35 for, better depth, better ground coverage. Or you may want to go small to one of these 24s or the 15 here. And, you might save yourself some weight so you have longer swing time. Or if you got a weak arm, you might want to go lighter, better target separation in trashy fields, and whatever else I'm forgetting, I'll list it up at the top. But we're going to get right into it. We're going to start small and go big. What I have up here is I have quarters and dimes. So at the top is your dimes, at the bottom is your quarters. And they are buried in 3-inch staggers. Staggers? Is that the right word? Increments. Thank the Lord for a pull tab, everybody. So I have 3 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches, 12 inches, and 15 inches. I'm curious if any of them are going to be able to get these 15-inch deep quarters and dimes. But outside of that, hope you enjoy the watch. If you do, please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll get started. Alright, everyone, so the first one on deck is the LG15 Coil. It's the most baby coil that the Legend offers. It is 6 inches by 6 inches. It is super light, designed for intense ground target separation, we'll say. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start with the dime. No problem. And I think another useful part of this video is going to see how the VDI changes as the coins get deeper. So we're fine on the 3-inch dime. We're fine on the 3-inch quarter. We might start skipping out on the 3-inch ones after this coil. 6 inches. But look at that VDI. It's starting to change. I think a lot of new detectorists think these numbers are going to be perfect and everything's going to be pristine prime conditions. Just stuff to think about. Also, for the record, regarding settings, I'm running stock settings. Park mode, 6 tones, everything's stock. So as you buy the detector, turn it on, we're running it just like that. So back to the quarter, as I didn't talk about it. That VDI does jump a fair amount. And let's see if this one can pick up 9. It's just whispering. And look at that VDI. Even I would be fooled by that one. I might not dig that out. See if it gets the quarter. So it does a pretty good job getting the larger target. And I'll do 12 for S's and G's. Getting a minor chirp. You folks probably can't even hear it. And the dime is nothing. That's just some chatter from the detector for whatever reason right now. Alright, next we're going to move to the LG24 Coil. Okay, batter up. We have the LG24 Coil. So there is a lot of hype around this coil. This one seems to be the perfect blend of weight and depth ability along with target separation. So it's 9.5 by 5 inches wide, and it's a fantastic coil. I just bought this thing, and once we're done with this video, I'm pretty much going to use it all day. So let's start working. Dime, no problem. Get a nice solid 46. Solid 50 on the quarter. 6 inches on the dime. Same, little jumpy, little tighter than the LG15 was. Quarter, no problem. I think if you're a user of this machine and you've dug enough quarters out of the ground, you're going to know that's a quarter. 9 inches. Nothing. Almost sounds like iron. Wow. And the quarter. Enough of a tone for me to say that it's a quarter. But again, funny how that VDI changes. And we'll do 12 for S's and G's. Getting a little bit of a blip. I think if I had headphones on, I might have a better chance of sniffing that out of the ground. 12 inches, nothing. And we still haven't made it to 15, everyone. But we're getting there. So we're going to switch it up. Go to one of the larger coils now. Alright, batter up. We have the LG28 Coil. This is the 11-inch coil. This is the coil that comes stock with the older generation Legend that Mr. Pull Tab has here, but I figured it was worthwhile to show this in the video for anyone that has this coil or is looking to purchase a used Legend with this coil. So we're going to know that it gets 3, right? It gets 3. It gets 6. Pretty much no problems. Now let's look at 9. I wonder if how much that VDI is going to change. So it rings nice and high on the dime. And I am in M1. I don't know if I said that earlier. Stock settings, yet again. Quarter, nice high tone. You know, you're digging that out of the ground if you're a detectorist. 12. It's just whispering. But it is providing enough of a VDI for me to say I'll dig that. 12. Same thing. I am getting a signal. Let me turn the volume up so you folks can hear it on this. You know, it's a little funky, but I would still see myself digging that out of the ground. And next one on the list, 15. It's showing a 43, but I'm not getting anything. Get close. Nothing on the dime. Quarter. Maybe just a little blip of noise. All right, that's the LG28. Next. All right, right back to it. LG30 Coil. This is 12 by 9 in, I don't know, dimensions. There we go. That's the words. What I'm very curious about this one is how will it differ from the LG28? You know, Nokta, when bringing this out, they were saying that, you know, it's lighter, which it is. It does feel a good ways lighter. But I'm curious how it's going to do on depth in comparison. So again, we're going to know it does the 3. 6. Rather nimbly. VDI gets a little skewed, but other than that, that's a solid tone. 9. Nice, relatively solid tone for the depth. A whisper on the 9-inch dime. Now let's see 12. The other one barely got through the 12. Getting something, but that would be a tough say if I were to dig that or not. And 12, getting just enough of a whisper. No depth indicator on 12 if everyone notices that. But it is giving me enough of a chirp for me to say, okay, I'll dig that out. And then 15, I think we're going to be skunked. I think these coins are going to stay here because I didn't realize how deep 15 inches was in the ground until I made this video. All right, next coil. So last but not least, we saved Big Bertha for last. Look at this Mamba Jamba. This is a 13.5-inch coil, absolutely massive, designed for depth, designed for ground coverage. It is a big coil, but don't be fooled. It's not as heavy as you may think. And just to show you the difference, that is the LG30 right there, and this is Big Bertha. We're gonna know that it gets pretty much all the way till at least 9. Just realized my detector's not even on. Give me a sec. All right, so the Jersey Digs crew is back from technical difficulties. Crisis averted. So we know it gets 3, it gets 6, it gets 9 very well. Look at the VDI. That is pretty solid for such a deep target. Giving us plenty of a tone on the 9-inch dime for me to dig out. 12. It's getting a little bad. Let's see if the dime. It's still giving a chirp though, so there's hope for this one. And 15 on the quarter. It's not doing it. It's not doing it. All right, so I want to see how deep we can get the deepest detecting coil from Nokta to go. We're going to play with the settings. I'll tell you what we do when I come back in a sec. All right, so what the Jersey Digs crew did is we went into the settings. We put recovery speed to a 1. We increased our threshold to a 20. And we ground balanced that machine. And from what I gather from the Nokta settings manual and what Nokta service team has told me, that should increase the depth. Maybe a little bit. I mean, it's doing something more than it was just doing. So, good job, Nokta, for not lying to me. By the way, I am not supported by Nokta. I don't really represent them in any way. I make this video for people looking to get into detecting and buying a superior machine at a reasonable price. But if Nokta is listening, you know, throw some detecting stuff my way. Alright, so we're going to turn these puppies off and wrap it up for you. So time for the thoughts and opinions part of the video. So Nokta offers a coil size for all different types of situations. You know, if you're in a trashy environment, you want to go lighter, these are going to be your best bets. I'm going to say this one's probably the preferred one. This is the LG24 coil amongst the two. This one's just so tiny, folks. It's almost hard to find a target some days. You know, this one you have a happy medium of when, you know, you're in that trashy spot, but all of a sudden you find a little bit more of an open area with less trash. You know, you want to get that ground coverage that this offers. LG28, again, this is the older style coil for the Legend. So I just wanted to show that in this video for anyone that has the older style or looking to purchase used, but still gets the job done. And personally, I think the LG30 here is the best in breed. I think I'm going to have a hard time taking this off of my detector. I personally own the LG30 and the LG24, and Pull Tab has the other three, LG15, LG28, and Big Betty. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I really don't see myself taking this one off. You know, it's lighter, it gets the depth I need. A lot of the coins in my area are at about 9-10 inches deep. So, you know, to go to a coil like this, I'm pretty much going to be surface sniping. You know, not so much surface sniping, but to get the better VDI at depth, I just think that this one isn't really going to leave my detector all that much. But outside of that, everyone, I hope this was useful to somebody. If it was, please consider throwing a thumbs up on the video. It helps with the stupid YouTube algorithm that is the bane of my existence. And outside of that, see you on the next dig.